you, David. Aaron Garrett is the head coach at Batesville. He played at South Decatur. A lot of South Decatur guys here. Assistant coaching stints at Greensburg High School, South Ripley, and Batesville. He owns the second best winning percentage with just under 80% of all active coaches in Indiana with 100 or more wins. They won the 2011 regional title. Please welcome Aaron Garrett.
Now, I have to be honest, when I got the call from Ace, and then 15 coaches, 10 minutes each, now remind you, Ace is involved. Then I get an email that Coach Lovell's involved. I scheduled a sub tomorrow in case this thing went all night long. But one thing that's great, Coach Disbrow, the dean of the EIAC, very, very well respected, as he mentioned. The true special thing is the coaching fraternity. I, too, like practice a lot more than I like games. It's fun to see these guys. When you talk to a coach pregame, when you're calling about scouting information, they're truly the only ones that know what you go through. And it's a special fraternity. I'm proud to be part of it. And I agree with Coach Shoemate. You're hard-pressed to find better conference than the EIAC in terms of, and just till 2 years ago, we used to play each other twice a year. A lot of times sectional was a third time. Against good coaches that prepare, work hard, watch film, scout, take things away. It's brutal. I mean, you see my hairline, right? I swear if I didn't coach basketball, I'd look at least 10 years younger, okay? But it's fun, and I do wish everybody good luck as our season gets started. We all know the exhaustion that's coming our way, the stress, the pressure, but also the good times, the fun, being with the kids. Batesville basketball, very proud of our program, how we've done things over the years. I met yet another alumni tonight, which is a lot of fun. And I had the distinct pleasure of working for Coach Melvin Seifert, but I also had the tall task of following him. And I think Coach Seifert, at some point in time, should be considered for the Indiana Basketball Hall of Fame. What he done in the one-class system, what he did in the class system we have now. Very, very successful coach. I simply try to do the best to keep our program where it should be and raise the kids like they should be. It's not all about winning and losing. It's about raising those young boys into men. And I'm proud of what we've done. We've had a great run, no doubt about it. I would like to think I'm John Wooden. I am not. I've got a lot of good players, and they've worked hard for me, and we've had some success. The past 2 seasons have been very successful. Last year, really special year because I had a lot of special kids. I think last year, I don't know how long I'll coach. I don't care how long I do coach. Last year may end up going down as the best team I've had in terms of depth, character, skill. And we ran up against a team, I think somebody else said earlier, I think they could have won 4A. I think they could have won the one-class basketball. I think we absolutely could have won the 3A state championship. We lost to them by 6 points. Tough pill to swallow, but they proved what they were worth, going on to win 2 back-to-back state championships. So we're going to miss those guys. We have a lot to replace. This year is going to be a challenge. And I like our schedule, and I've always tried to make our schedule very, very tough. I could care less how many games we win in the regular season. I want to play games that will prepare us for the tournament. And this year, we've really stepped it up. We have the pleasure of playing in the Hall of Fame. This will be our 3rd trip as a program. I went as an assistant. We went in 1996 with Michael Mintzer. We also went in 2007 with Colt Ryan. Michael's group won it. Colt's group became runner-up, got beat by a really good New Albany team. We play Southport. Now, I've heard a lot of talk up here about Shaw. I don't feel sorry for you. From what I'm seeing, Southport, #1 preseason in 4A. Now, mind you, this is a team that was 1-19 2 years ago. It's incredible. They've got 61 players this year. Tom Izzo's in their gym. John Beeline. Hell of a job. So they're going to be a load. But I look forward to our challenge. I know our boys will too. I tell you what, the team I think everybody should watch out for is #2 in 4A, Penn. Their coach is Al Rhodes, legendary coach. He's been coaching high school basketball longer than I've been alive. Very successful coach. He's got 3 guards that have played for him for 4 years. And you can talk about athleticism, big guys. You give me 3 guards that have played for 4 years of varsity basketball, I'll take them any day of the week because they're going to get things done. And then you got Brownsburg, very respected coach. a D1 player in the Walton boy. So it's a power-packed Hall of Fame field, so I'm looking forward to that. And there's nothing more special than playing in that. That used to be the only holiday tournament. And now with so many other holiday tournaments, but I still think that's a very prestigious one, and we're very blessed to be invited. We have a special game also to start the season at Bankers Life. As Coach Nash alluded to, we'll play at Bankers Life. That was outstanding news. I enjoy competing at Jacksonville, but in our game, the people are on top of you. I feel like I'm a nice guy, but my goodness, those people just yell and yell and yell at you. And there's a guy, and I mean this in the nicest way, I hope he's still alive, but there's a guy in the top row, and if you go to a Jacksonville game, if you're scouting or if you go there, pay attention, because he sounds just like Gene Hackman. And I'm not lying. The way he yells like Gene Hackman did as a coach in Hoosiers, it's a pretty surreal event. But we're looking forward to this season. We got very lofty goals, high expectations. Our schedule, obviously the buzzsaw that's going to be the Hall of Fame. We just here in the last couple weeks at Northeastern. Never been there. We're going to travel there because I just want games, especially against quality opponents. So Northeastern's about an hour and 15, hour and a half away. They should be a top 5 2A team. Be really tough at their place, especially with us coming in, so I look forward to that. Columbus East with Coach Chitty is going to be a tough task. They've got a really good player. His son's a point guard. It's really good. Greensburg is not going anywhere. People keep saying different things to me. They've got an all-star kid, I think, to build around. They've got a JV team that lost one game. And just the runs we've had at Batesville over the years, those JV kids learn a lot by practicing an extra month. They learn a lot by seeing what goes on with those older guys. Greensburg's not going anywhere. And I don't know if Coach Meyer's still here. And they got a hell of a coach. I mean, I think Coach Disbro in our conference and Coach Meyer, simply because they've been there a long time too, they're tough to go against. And people can say the same thing about me. You got a lot of talent. That's great. But you got to coach that talent. Sometimes coaching talent's a hard thing to do in terms of getting them all on one track, developing them. And Stacy does a heck of a job. So they're going to still be tough. You wait and see. Jennings County, East Central, I don't care what the records are. You can throw those out. Coach Disbro will have his guys ready, and it'll be a challenge. My players, I've got a sophomore that played for me, Garrett Burkhardt. He's a heck of a shooter. He's gotten himself a lot stronger. He's worked really hard. But these coaches will understand when I say this, he's still a sophomore. There's nothing more strange in life than sophomore boys. You don't know what you're going to get out of them. You don't know what's going to happen from one quarter to the next, let alone a game to the next. But I feel lucky with Garrett because he's wise beyond his years. And I think he's going to hit a lot of big shots for us and space the floor for us. Some senior players I have, they're going to have to step up and fill some roles from guys that left last year. Wyatt Shebler, who's playing football, he's playing it on 2 knees that have been rebuilt in terms of 2 knee surgeries 2 years ago to give him a chance to play high school sports. He's a tough dude. Evan Blanken will fill in as a big guy for us. Austin Prickle will do anything you ask him. He'll simply play hard. He just wants to win. He's about the team. Senior Jacob Vogel saying he's a shooter. Jacob, I had to talk with him early June because I was not happy. He's supposed to step into a role, and he's going to have to space the floor. Otherwise, 2 guys are going to be guarding Blake and Brian. He was kind of lackadaisical. And I said, Jacob, at this pace, you can either not play hardly for me at all, and I'll just play a young kid because I need some guys back next year, or you can get with it. And to his credit, he may have had the best summer being kid I've coached with his ability level, pushing himself. And that's the pleasure of coaching, as these guys know. When you see a kid really start to maximize the ability they've been given. And I think Jacob's going to be one of those kids. I've got 3 returning players. And trust me, nobody up here is going to feel sorry for me. We got Matt Dennis, strong 6'6" kid. And a lot of you guys know Matt. He's a great kid, especially the Batesville people that know him. Very gracious. His mom's a big-time executive at the company here, and sometimes you think, oh, geez, that could cause some issues. Never a problem. Matt's been one of my hardest workers all through the years. A great kid, and that just always, I'm so impressed with him because of that. And we're gonna throw the ball on him a lot and make teams have to defend him in there. Obviously, that opens up the outside. Blake Walsman. Blake returns. He'll be a big part of what we do. He's a 6'6", and he's going to play some point guard for us. Blake has a very special motor. Probably the other kid he compares to is Alex Grimsley years ago. Blake's up there in terms of that type of motor. Alex Grimsley was not the most skilled kid, but he would not stop, and he played so hard. Blake has that special motor, and if Brian wasn't around, I think Blake would be the talk of this area a little bit. So I think some teams are going to see more of that this year with Blake. He averaged 12 points a game last year to us. He'll simply be our counter when teams try to take Brian away. Blake's going to have to step up and fill in that role. And then Brian Hoeing. Brian is in the same mold as Mincer and Colt. He's got an outside chance to possibly take over that scoring title at our school. Quite frankly, he's going to average about 28 points a game to do it. I think it's possible. If he plays hard enough, and he knows what I mean by that, but he's got the chance. He's that special a player. And he plays the game it the right way. What I mean by that, if he has a chance to break the scoring record, if he plays hard enough and is selfish enough at times. He averaged 22 points as a sophomore and 8.5 rebounds. Scored 42 points as a sophomore to beat number 1 undefeated Greensburg. They only lost all season. I think there's some Greensburg people over here. Greensburg would gear everything towards stopping Brian Hoeing as they should. And Stacy's a great coach. He would still deliver. And I think that's all you need to say about that kid. On the biggest stage in front of, gosh, there's probably 6,000 people in that gym, those games. Standing room only. He would still deliver. Averaged 19.6 last year, 7.8 rebounds, scored 45 points. His career high of 45 points. He has a chance to break our single season scoring record, which is 52. He's a stud. I know Coach Lovell agrees with this. Hopefully he gets his on his airwaves a lot this season.
We do have a show,
Yeah, so there's a little bit of a little show. Brian, I think, will absolutely and should be an all-star this year. Brian was not a junior all-star. There's a lot of guys in this room that know a lot about basketball. A junior all-star takes the top 18 juniors in our state. And Brian Hoeing was not chosen as a junior all-star. I know I'm biased. I quite frankly think he's the best player in his class, especially after seeing the players who were chosen playing those all-star scrimmages this past summer. So, just a little plug, Coach Lovell. Good player. And here's the thing about Brian Hoeing. He plays a little bit of baseball. He throws 94 miles per hour this past summer. He's already got a full ride to Louisville. And a different experience for me, I mean, I've been through the recruiting stuff. I mean, my first year was with Colt, and I got the brunt of that end of his recruiting. But I've got professional scouts calling me. And that's a new experience. So I don't know what's going to happen with Brian. He absolutely has the opportunity where just a few short months from now could be a professional baseball player. And I think he'll do really well if he chooses to go that route. And I tell you that because this summer, we go 4 days a week, 6 a.m. in the morning. All right? Brian could very well tell me, have fun, I'll see you next fall. And I'd say, yes, sir, that's fine. Okay? We'll be there. This summer, the kid didn't miss. I mean, he missed less this summer than he did when he was going through as a younger player, because as a younger player, he hadn't decided what college he was going to. So he was gone Thursday through a Tuesday, or whatever the case may be. This year, he missed no tournaments we played in this summer. And I can't think off the top of my head. I think he missed maybe one Friday, because he still went down to Atlanta and played in the biggest baseball tournament of the summer. So he's getting up at 6 a.m., and I'm literally his second sport now, right? I think that tells you all you need to know about Brian Hoeing. My hope for you guys, and for all coaches, is at some point in time they get a coach of Brian Hoeing. And not the player, but the kid. And Brian's in a long line of kids I've been very, very fortunate to coach. Coach Disbro thinks he has the best job. I would love that class schedule. But my goodness, I've had very good players at Batesville, even better kids, and that speaks to the parents. I hear some stories at times, and I've had my stories with parents, but nothing like some other coaches have had to experience. So it's a special, special place to be a part of. Last thing I'll leave you with, and I know Dan Mattingly's out here, I still think maybe, but this 100-man campaign, I challenge you other coaches that are up here, and I saw there's information back there on that table. I'm part of that group too. I'm not so sure in this day and age there's anything more important for us to do than to raise these young men. When you see Ray Rice on that video, it's just incredible. And you guys know, even in Batesville, I see our guys probably more sometimes during the week than their dad does. We all have those types of kids. I know some of them I absolutely do. So we need to raise them. And it's just not the domestic violence. It's the how do you treat a girlfriend? What do you do and what do you not do? the things that go on with cell phones and pictures and texting and all that, we need to have those discussions because they follow our lead a lot. We dominate a lot of their times. So that paper's back there. It'd be a great thing to get started at a lot of these schools because I think that is what we're here for. Coach Lovell, I hope you're healing well. It's always good to see you.
Thank you.